Why did God reject Cain's offering but accept Abel's offering that's found in Genesis chapter 4? Well, first of all, let's just read the few verses found in Genesis chapter 4. Now Abel, let's begin with verse 1. Now Abel knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Then she bore again, this time his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. What we see here is Cain and Abel both brought offerings to God. Cain brought a grain offering, or an offering of tithe. Abel brought a sacrificial offering. But in the Hebrew, if you study the scriptures, it says that Abel also brought, in that verse 4 of chapter 4, it means that he brought a grain offering and a sacrificial offering, or sinful offering. If we go to Hebrews chapter 11, verse 4, it says this, By faith Abel offered to God a better sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained the testimony that he was righteous, God testifying about his gifts. And through faith, though he is dead, he still speaks. What are these gifts? It's plural. So Abel brought not only a tithe, but he brought a sin offering. And so Cain gets angry and gets upset because he was a religious person. He was giving his tithe. He was doing a religious thing, but he was not doing what God expected or God wanted. But Abel did what God expected because of his righteousness, because he was trying to seek to remove sins in his life. So God comes to Cain and says, Why are you angry? Why are you angry? If you're doing well and doing good, you're cleared, you're okay. And if you are sinful, you're still covered. If I look at verse 6, it says, So the Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? And why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? It means if you're sinless, will you not be accepted? If you don't have anything to hide and you're without sin, you're good. And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door. Well, here's a picture of the gospel. God is sharing the gospel with Cain. He's saying sin. That word sin at the door is actually a sin offering. In the Hebrew, it's sin offering. Therefore, God is offering a sin offering at the door. When you think of that offering at the door, think of the lamb that was shed at Passover on the doorpost, in which a offering to save the firstborn children. And so God is giving the Lamb of God, Jesus, is providing a way of an offering sin at the door. So if you've done good and without sin, you're good. But if you've sinned, I provided a way to allow you to be with me again. The only issue is this. What if you are sinful, but you think you're good and you don't need the sacrifice? That's what happened to Cain. Cain thought he was good enough to get to heaven with his works, his tithe, but he didn't give a sin offering, and therefore he did not accept the offering that God has given, forgiveness of sins, and therefore he was angry. And we see later on that Abel was killed by his brother Cain. And you think, why was that? Well, Cain couldn't kill God, couldn't get back at God, so he got to the next closest thing, the believer, Abel. That's why Christians today are attacked by the world. The world hates God. The world hates Christians because they are connected with God, and therefore persecution happens. So we say, why did God accept Abel's and not Cain's offering? Abel came with the right heart, righteous, with faith, seeking forgiveness of sins, plus his tithe. Whereas Cain came just to get by and do the basic things, the works, the religious part, but not a relationship. And that's your nugget for today.